Chapter 22. Children. This is the next thing we wish to talk to you about. Children you have loved and lost or disposed of. We say you have disposed of them as a way to show you what we think of that thing you do. So many now do this most dreadful of things for so many wrong reasons, and it saddens us to see a life taken that was entrusted to you. There are many reasons why people will do this thing, and none of them is right. All will have to suffer for this deed, for no matter what reason it was undertaken. There is never a right time for this to happen, but we do understand why some have made this choice. There are different degrees of punishment for this deed, as it's dependent on why it was done, when, and how many times. There are people of your world today who do this time after time, with no thought of what it is they're doing. They like to pretend it is not a life they have taken, and it matters not at that stage. It matters very much, my friends. All life starts from the moment of conception, whether you wish to pretend otherwise or not. For the ones who do this as a general rule, just to not have children, their punishment is to be great. What they do is take lives that are not theirs to take. We have talked of this before in another matter, but this one is now getting too important to ignore, as the world is taking souls God created and disposing of them as though they were worthless and nothing. Each soul created is precious and is to be treated that way, and we will not have you think different. We will say no more on this, as it's something that saddens us too much to talk of with you. We have to tell you these things, and would much rather we had no need, but the badness of your world is now so much that all needs to be addressed and redressed. Of other children that have come into this world of yours and have passed, we wish to tell you their souls rest easy, and they are not lost. Nor are the ones who are disposed of by their mothers so easily. These little souls are cared for by us in this world until it's time for them to come back again at a later date. There are people who say they are made into angels. They are not. But we understand why some say this, as it gives them comfort at the time. But we would not have you in ignorance, my friends, of what an angel is, and it is never a being of your world and never can be. The little souls we care for do not grow up in the spirit world either, as others would have you believe. They stay exactly as they are until it's their time to come back for another lifetime. The reason for children dying is often asked about by people of your world, and we can tell you now why this has to be. For many of them, it's because their last life ended before it was meant to. They chose to leave this world of yours before their time, and so had to come back for the length that would have been left them had they stayed for the duration. Some will say they have had a family member come back to them in this way, but that is not so. You are so guilty of trying to make things what you want them to be, and while we can understand why this is at times, it's what makes for so much confusion, and is why so much said in your world now is wrong. Why are some saved who are ill, and why do some have to suffer for such a long time before passing to our world, is another question we hear asked. Those who ask this often feel it's unfair that so many truly good people or young children have to suffer such bad things before they pass from your world. The answer we have to give you on this one, we know many will not like, but it is the truth. If people are not ready for answers to be given, they shouldn't ask the questions in the first place. The reasons, my friends, is because some have elected to have their punishment in your world instead of when they come back to us where we are. Some of their suffering for things done wrong before in another lifetime, or in the one they live now, has been chosen to be served in your world before they come to us. If they choose to suffer there first, what they have to endure here is far less and not so bad for them. It is their choice, and it's one they made happily. You too have made your choices on these matters, and you're just not aware you have. Those who take their lives before they were ready or meant to leave your world have to pay for that when they come here, but not as punishments like the other who do bad things, for we know they are sick, and it is not done lightly. We nurture them. We make them see the error of what they've done. So really it's not a punishment as such, it's just a gentle reprimand. They have punishment enough when they realise they have to go back and relive all over again that which they found too hard to bear, as they have not learned what it is they came to learn. They also have not endured what it was they needed to endure. Theirs is not a happy one when they realised past mistakes and hurts have to be relived in the next life that they're sent back to. It may be as a different person and with a different family or lifestyle, even another country, but those lessons will still be the same as before. Only this time they will endure them. There are those who are murdered also, and we are sorry to have to bring this up, as those who have had to endure this pain once do not want to relive it by reading this book, but it is questions that you all ask about. Again, we have to answer in all honesty and tell you the reasons they had to endure what they did is due to their behaviour in past lives. They will have done to another what it is now they have had to endure themselves, and that is something no parent or family members of your world wishes to hear, as all they remember is the person they know of in this lifetime. If all of you can learn to understand the ways of this world as we tell you from them now, maybe it can help you know how it is you should be living in this lifetime of yours. Some people are lost, never to be seen or heard of again. For some, it is because they have died, been taken, lost at sea or elsewhere, and at others, it's because they wanted to cut all ties with everyone in their lives. Now and then, it's through no fault of their own, but their memory is lost to them, and they have to restart a different life while still of your world. For some, this memory will one day come back to them, while for others it will not. So many mysteries and so much suffering for those left behind who have no idea what's happened to their loved one. This must be the hardest suffering of all. But remember, you chose to live that for a reason when shown your last lives while here. We talk here of you having a choice what it is you live like or go through when you come back to your world. But we tell you now, not all of you will be given that choice. For some, it will be made for you. We have already said about those who cut short their own lives, and that they're made to come back and relive all those things they could not face or endure before. This time, it is not their choice to go through it, but ours. There are others this can happen with, and the times we decide for them how they are to live and what must happen is for those who have led the bad lives or the worst of what we see. They are denied the choice of how they come back, as that is one of the main parts of their punishment here. They are denied the right to choose for themselves, and we alone decide what it is they have to suffer in their next lifetime based on deeds done in the last. We do not need to tell more on this, my friends, as we feel enough has been revealed to you already. All we do in this book is give you enough to answer some questions you have. Give a little more understanding in order that you can make a better decision about how you spend the rest of your lives.